Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda, and in today's tutorial we are going to be making an stiletto shoe. An stiletto is a short dagger with a tapering blade, hence the name of this type of shoe. And today we are going to be creating one. Here is the silicone mold that I'm going to be using to create the heel for this shoe. This one I purchased it online. Right now what I'm showing you is the pattern of the sole of the shoe. I printed this one to 10¼ inches long. And here is the lining. The lining, I printed it out to be 8 inches long. As you can see, the lining is shorter than the sole of the shoe. The lining stops right before where the toes begin. We will also need the back of the heel. This is the back that goes right above the heel. This will go just like this on top of the front of the shoe. Also, we will need a palette knife and a ruler. We will also need a ramp to dry our shoe. I made this one myself. I put a link in the information box of this video on how to make it, or you can purchase one online. We will also need fondant and gum paste, a small rolling pin, a fondant cutter, a pair of scissors, wax paper, edible glue, which is water and a little bit of fondant, a stitching tool, and a pouch with cornstarch and confectioner sugar, and some tape. The first thing that I'm going to do is take a piece of gum paste, roll it in the palm of my hands. I have tinted this one with a little bit of fondant, pink. So now what I'm doing is more or less giving it the shape of the heel. Now I am going to press the gum paste in the mold with the back of the palm of my hand. I'm just going to press as much as I can so the mold could be completely filled. Now that the mold is completely filled, I'm going to remove the excess using a palette knife. And then I will smooth with some vegetable shortening. I am going to smooth the surface of the gum paste. The surface of the gum paste has been smoothed out. I'm going to freeze the heel for about 20 minutes. And after the 20 minutes, here is my heel. It's been frozen for 20 minutes. And now I am going to remove it from the silicone mold. This needs to be done very carefully because you don't want to damage the heel, especially the tip, the bottom part that is so delicate. So you really want to do this very slowly, and you really want to take your time to get the heel out of the mold. I know for a fact that my heel measures 4 inches high and my ramp measures 4.5 inches high. I want my heel to be 4.5 inches high. So what I'm going to do to the heel to make it 4.5 inches high, I am going to stretch it a little bit. Just going like this, like if I was massaging it. So it's just to stretch it out just like this with my right hand, then with my left hand. And I'm going to measure it against the ramp to see how high the heel is. So it's not the same height as the ramp. I'm going to elongate it again, stretch it out a little bit, and I'm going to measure it again against the ramp. So the heel is now just about the same height as the ramp. I wanted to stretch it out a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ramp and I'm going to put my heel against the ramp upside down, just like this. And the reason that I'm doing this is because the bottom of the heel is very weak and thin, and I don't want to put any pressure on that part that is thin and weak. So I turned it upside down with the ramp, and I am resting the top of the heel on a soft material that I have. You could use any, maybe tissues or whatever soft material you have. Be sure to straighten the heel from the thinnest part to the widest part straight, so that way the heel can dry straight. And I'm going to let this heel dry for 3 days. I will not touch it, disturb it, or move it at all. I'm going to let it dry for 3 days. After 3 days, I came back to check up on my heel, and sure enough, it is dry and rigid. So it is good to use to construct our shoe. The next thing that I'm going to do, I am going to fasten the heel to the ramp using a ribbon of wax paper and 2 push pins, one on either side. I'm rolling out the fondant to cut the sole of the shoe. Now take the sole and place it on the ramp. lining it up with the heel, just like this. You line it up and you be sure that the front of the shoe has a curve, just like this. Brush some edible glue and adhere the back of the sole to the heel. And now let's take a piece of white fondant, roll it out, and cut the lining. And now, using my stitching tool, I am going to stitch up all the edges of the lining. This will give the illusion that the lining has been stitched to the sole of the shoe. When stitching, press lightly on the fondant. Now I will take the lining, and in the back I'm going to brush it with some edible glue, and then I'm going to glue it to the sole of the shoe. Now I'm going to roll out some gum paste to cut the back of the heel. It is important that you use gum paste for this piece. So now you will brush the back of the heel with some edible glue, and you are going to wrap this part around on the outside of the heel. You can also do it on the sole, but I like to do it on the outside of the heel. I like to wrap the outside of the heel just like this. To me, it looks better this way, but you can do it the other way, where you will sit this part, the back of the heel, on the sole. Now, using gum paste again, I am going to roll it out, and I'm going to cut the front part of the shoe. After brushing it with edible glue, now I'm ready to place the top part on the sole. I'm going to place it just on top of the sole. You may place it outside of the sole, but for this shoe I'm going to just place it on the sole, just like this. Now take some tissues or some soft material and stuff the front part of the shoe with it to keep the shape. Now, using my extruder, I am going to make some trimmings for around the shoe. I'm taking some soft fondant, black fondant, and I'm going to place a small disc so the trimming would be nice and narrow, and I'm going to extrude the fondant. And to attach the trimmings, all you need to do is just brush on some edible glue and grab the trimmings and attach it to the top of the back of the heel. And cut the excess. Go over the trimming again to make sure that you did not miss a spot. And now I'm going to trim the front. Now I'm going to let the shoe dry for 3 days. I will not move it, I will not disturb it, I will not take it out of the ramp to see if it's dry. I am just going to let it dry for 3 days. So here is the final product. Here is the complete shoe. If you see the brooch that I made there with black fondant and some sugar pearls, you can make something like that too with a little fondant. And I'm just going to pick up the shoe and just move it around to see how strong it is. That's because I let it dry for 3 days. The longer you let it dry, the more sturdy and the more strong your shoe is going to be. You may use this shoe as a cake topper, maybe for a sweet 16 or for a lady's birthday, or a diva, or just for fun. In the information window of this video, I put links on how to get the patterns for the shoe and also a video on how to make the ramp for drying the shoe. This has been all for today. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. Please share this video, and for more tutorials and videos like this, subscribe to my channel. I thank you for being with me and making this shoe with me. I will see you back here again with another tutorial. Until then, God bless you.